Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. Hope we're all doing very well. Big up to everyone watching. Really appreciate everyone that's tuned in for this evening show / sort of afternoon show here in America. And yeah, good to be here. Good to be back live, locked in again, going through all the latest Chelsea news. I know I haven't been around for a couple of days, so apologies. It's just so busy. It's busy in America, and I'm enjoying it. So fitting in the streams is a little bit harder than I thought it would be, but I am trying my best. Without further ado, guys, if you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. We're going to be running through a number of different aspects to do with the club at the moment, including the situation going on with Jamie Gittens. There is interest from Bayern Munich for Jamie Gittens. Also, the Noni Madueke situation as well. Mohamed Kudus, an update on his side. We know that he's a player that we have been linked with, as well as a number of other things like the goalkeeping department, the Club World Cup, and a couple of other little bits and bobs. So yeah, let's dive straight into it. Big up to Damon. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's been great. Really enjoying America. It's been good. What do we think of Madueke leaving? Well, he hasn't left yet, so let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Personally, I don't think at this moment in time it would be a great thing to let Madueke go. That would be my stance on it, to be honest with you. Big up to Harry. Hope you're doing well. Right footed left back. Big up, Alex. Good to see you last Friday. Good to see you, mate. Always a pleasure. Good to catch up. Yeah, let's get straight into it, shall we? We don't want to waste any time. Let's start off with the breaking news, shall we? Let's start off with the breaking news. Now, this is from Fabrizio Romano regarding another transfer link that we have had in Alejandro Garnacho. Chelsea and Man United are aware of the opportunities of Enku and Garnacho. No negotiations yet. This is according to Fabrizio. Now, basically, I mean, this is, I don't want to say it's pointless journalism because I don't think there is pointless, but nothing's happened. People are aware that there's players that are out on the market and they haven't made any moves for it yet. That's the most blunt way I can explain it. So essentially, if you're looking for an update on the Garnacho situation, it's the same as it was 2 weeks ago. Nothing has changed. Actually, I say that. we talk about Garnacho. I think the situation probably has changed a little bit because of what he did when he was on holiday. I don't know if anyone's seen the photo that Garnacho took on holiday, which was uploaded on social media. I don't know if it was Instagram, whatever it was. This was the photo they uploaded. And this has caused uproar from sections of the Man United fan base. To be honest with you, I think it's caused uproar with a few Chelsea fans as well, a small minority, because people are saying, hang on a second. I mean, we can laugh at Man United all we want because, I mean, they're stuck with this clown. But at the same time, we're the ones being linked with him. So as much as we want to laugh at Man United and say, oh, you're rubbish, this and that, you've got this player on your hands, Garnacho is actually not that difficult to flip if United are willing to negotiate. I mean, if they're asking for anything like what they wanted in January, which was 60 million quid, far too much money for a player who just lacks quality at the moment. I mean, if you look at this season and you compare it with last, you can't actually see a massive improvement from Garnacho. He played regularly under Erik ten Hag. And I think that a lot of people will probably look at Ten Hag now and what he's done at United, especially looking at Amorim, and say, you know what, Ten Hag, maybe you weren't as bad as we thought you were as a coach. But in terms of, obviously, the recruitment style of things, that's where a lot went wrong. So if we dive into the Garnacho situation, this is what we are looking at. And again, we haven't even spoken about price tags. All we've spoken about is a player that could potentially come in and give us a little bit more depth. We know he's not going to be a star. I mean, that's obvious. We absolutely know that. And we know that he's got a few attitude issues as well. Hence the outroar with the Aston Villa picture, which, by the way, I totally agree with Man United fans who disagree, who don't like that. Why would you accept a player playing for Manchester United wearing an Aston Villa shirt, even if it has Marcus Rashford on the back? That's like me saying that, it's fine for Chelsea fans to wear Mason Mount shirts from Man United or have a shirt from Arsenal just because they used to play for us. I mean, well, technically, Rashford is still contracted with United, so maybe there's that side. But it's just not right. It's not right, and he's ultimately disrespecting the badge, and it's a huge red flag. It doesn't matter what team you play for, what league, what country. It's very disrespectful, and I think that this is something I think a lot of Chelsea fans already knew. If you don't know it more now, then I hope you do, because this is the type of player we're looking at, who's disrespecting one of the biggest clubs in world football. How's he going to treat Chelsea if he comes to us and things don't go his way? What's he going to do then? 36 games in the Prem, 6 goals, 2 assists. He's in the starting 11 60% of the time. His goal participation is actually okay in terms of the amount of goals United end up scoring. In the Europa League, 5 GA and 15, FA Cup 1-1. Sorry, that's the Community Shield 1-1, FA Cup 1-3, Carabao Cup 6-3. So I mean, that's what we're looking at this season. If you want to look at that in a little bit more depth, then you can do that. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say it's good or it's bad. Okay, I'm just going to paint you a picture. Now, if you're asking me, Alex, would you take Garnacho at Chelsea? Based on the numbers I'm hearing and the amount that this particular player could be going for and what United are going to be demanding, I'd say no. He's not worth 50 million. He's not worth 40 million. I'll probably struggle to justify paying much more than 30. I think at 30 million pounds, you've got a pretty fair deal. And United obviously won't sell him for that cheap. But if they want to sell him, then somebody's got to meet some sort of agreement. And I don't think Chelsea are going to be going anywhere near as high for Garnacho as we have been for Jamie Gittens. If we do, I think that's a big mistake. But on the cheap, if you're getting him for less than 30 million around that price tag, it's not a bad investment. But it's not going to improve our squad straight away either, which is, of course, another reason that people are upset. Over the course of this season, 58 games, 21 GA. Okay, not bad. If we're being totally honest, not bad, but it's not great, but it's not bad. Okay, it's really not that terrible. But you've got to say, where are these goals coming from? Where are they coming from? Are they consistent? And how many minutes is he getting when these goals are being scored? This is in the Europa League to start off. So Garnacho is playing relatively consistent minutes. I mean, he's in and out sometimes, but generally speaking, he's playing a lot. And you can see where he's getting his assists, his goals. All right, in the Europa League, it's not bad. It's not terrible. It's not great. It's not bad. Okay. And then you look in the Premier League and you say, okay, what's he doing here? Scored off the bench in the opening game. Southampton, Brentford, Leicester. Very quiet patch in the middle. Leicester again, Newcastle, Brentford. So he only scored 1 goal against a top team, Newcastle, and they lost the game 4-1. All right. Apart from that, it's all relegation teams and Brentford. Am I right in saying that? And Fulham, if you want to put them in that bracket. So he's not a big game player based on what we're seeing here. He's not a consistent player based on the amount of minutes he's playing. He's playing a fair few. Okay. FA Cup, got an assist against Arsenal. And then he got his goals in the EFL Cup against Barnsley and Leicester. So, based on what we're seeing there, I think we can all agree Garnacho is a big fat no. Massive thumbs down from me. Let's see what everybody's saying in the chat. Big up to all of you. Big up to Amir. Thank you very much. It had to be done, didn't it? It had to be done. Good to see you, Philip. I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. When will the Chelsea versus Crystal Palace game go on sale for members? I'm not sure, to be honest with you. So I don't want to tell you something that isn't true. Good to see you doing well, Harry. Big up to you. Swap with Enku, pointless swap. We're talking about the Garnacho and Enku deal. I mean, that's a better deal for United than it is for us. It's a terrible deal for us. I'd rather keep Enku. Jesus, at least Nkunku's proven. Like, that's a guy that you could justify selling for 50 million quid. I can't justify Garnacho for 50 million. I struggle to justify it, especially if you look at his record where he scores his goals. Just proves that he's not a player who's going to compete at the top level and perform against the elite. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe someone's got something they want to tell me that I haven't already figured out. It is. You're absolutely right. It's not the sort of attitude we want in the club. What time is kickoff tomorrow in America? 2 a.m. in the UK. Surely not. Really? Is it that late? Wow. I didn't realize it was so late. Well, if it's 2 a.m., it's like, what, 9 o'clock in America? I'll have to let you know. My connection's not very good on my phone. Local time in America for the match is about 9 p.m. then. One, 12, 11, 10. Yeah, 9 p.m. 9 p.m. in the USA. Ridiculous, isn't it? The timings of this competition are just a joke. After our last game of the Club World Cup group stage against Esperance Tunis, we'll be playing against Eric Ten Hag and his Bayern Leverkusen team. Surely we beat them now. Xavi Alonso isn't their manager. I would not be so sure. But I haven't seen how Leverkusen have been playing under Ten Hag, to be honest with you. So I wouldn't guarantee that Chelsea would be anyone. I think that a lot of people expected Chelsea to beat Flamengo. If you were watching my preview for that game, I predicted that Chelsea would lose. So you just don't know, especially out here in these conditions. $30. My trim costs $30, about £25. Big up to CA Matthew. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, even if they've sold off half their squad, money does not prove that you can win in these games. We saw that against Flamengo again. So we'll see. Big up to Jordan. Good to see you, mate. Always. Oh, come on. Why is my thing cut out? Bastard. Come on, Alex. There we go. Back in the building. Huh. Almost had another North Carolina episode. If you're watching that one, that was fun. Okay. Right, back to business. By the way, we've got over 70 people in this. Smash the like button. Let's get over 50 likes as it stands. Let's get straight up there, people. Come on, people. I am in America as it stands. Trying my best to maintain the schedule. Got 24 people with a thumbs up. Let's get up to 50. Let's double it. Come on, people. Smash that like button. Big up to all of you. Appreciate everyone that's tuning in as it stands. So we have spoken about the Garnacho situation. We've spoken about his stats. There is a trending tweet, which is it's quite funny, to be honest with you. I see from Matisse. And it is hashtag No to Garnacho. That seems to be the trend as it stands. And if Chelsea fans were opposed to Garnacho before, as I said, I don't think he's helping himself with the latest picture that he posted online. Again, this does not make you a more sellable asset as a player. If anything, it puts people off the idea of ever wanting to bring a player in with such a despicable attitude. And this is a problem that I had with Wesley Fofana. I don't think he's as bad as Garnacho in terms of his attitude, but I do think Fofana's attitude is questionable, especially the way he forced his way out of Leicester. Like, I just don't really like that from players. I don't like it when they force their way out of clubs. I think if they do it to one club, why wouldn't they do it to another? And that's something that always concerns me. Again, look, another chant, another hashtag no to Garnacho from Pies. His attitude and inconsistency is not welcome here. So, you know, a number of people going against the Garnacho deal, not happy with, you know, what we're being linked with. And rightly so, to be fair. I mean, I'm not particularly happy with it, let's be honest. But at the same time, I don't know if I'm part of this hashtag no to Garnacho campaign. I'm part of the I would rather not get Garnacho, but if we can get him for a really cheap price, then it's not the end of the world. But my price that I jump at is price that we probably wouldn't have the chance to pay, which is 25 million, 20 million. I mean, that's really what I'd pay. That's what I think he's worth. Maybe a little bit more, but United would never sell him for anywhere near that amount. You know, Matt Law's come out saying that Garnacho would be expected to jump at the chance to join Chelsea. And why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't you jump at the chance to join Chelsea? When you look at what we are as a football entity and you look at what Man United are turning into, you know, I know there are owners who are motivated by cash. There's no doubt about that. But United are just totally in the abyss. And if you look at where they have finished over the past few years, they are just going on a downward spiral. And why would you want to stay at a team where this is the way you finish your season? Okay, have a guess at which one's Man United. Have a guess. Right here. That's how they finished their season. They did actually beat Villa, to be fair. Fair play. 42 points. Why would you want to stay at a club who were 15th when you could have the opportunity to climb all the way up and be part of Chelsea? So I don't blame Garnacho for being open to him. I don't blame him. I don't have a problem with it. Makes sense, if we're being honest. It does make sense. But it still doesn't mean that it's the right thing for Chelsea to do. And the reality is it's not the right thing for Chelsea to do. But there you go. That's where we are at the moment. Right. Okay. Interesting updates as well from Matt Law as well from the Telegraph. This sort of sparks towards the Enku scenario as well, looking at Garnacho. It says that we're weighing up the possibility. United are also weighing up the possible scenario where Enku and Garnacho could be going in other directions. This is kind of what Fabrizio was saying anyway. Nothing's happened. That's the reality. Nothing has happened. But we are considering a deal which could be, I guess, a positive for both sides in different ways. We're trying to get rid of a player on high wages. United are trying to get rid of a player who doesn't fit their project. You could say the same about Enku as well. But if I was to say to you guys, who is getting the better deal out of Man United and Chelsea when we look at shifting on Enku and the same with Garnacho on the other side, let's just imagine there's no cash involved in this deal whatsoever. Okay, so you're doing a like-for-like swap with Garnacho coming to Chelsea and Enku going the other side, the other way. Okay, who is getting a better deal? I'm going to put a poll in this. No cash involved. There you go. I put it in the chat now, people. Whose deal is better? No cash involved. So which team is getting the better deal? Is it Man United bringing in Enku? Or is it Chelsea getting Garnacho? This is imagining, obviously this is all hypothetical, that there is no money involved whatsoever. This is just a straight swap. The benefits financially from a Chelsea perspective is we cut our wages, and we go from playing a player almost 200 grand a week to a player that we could probably get on a deal of about 100, maybe even less. From a United standpoint, though, it would be the fact that they are getting a ready-made player. We are not. So we will be getting another up-and-coming potential, superstar, whatever you want to call it. So let's have a look. What's the poll saying? So most people are saying, as it stands, that Man United are getting the better deal. 70% of people are saying that Enku to United is better for them than Garnacho to Chelsea is for us. We also have to take into consideration, obviously, the players we're getting rid of. We want to get rid of Enku, so we are going to be saving money. But again, I don't even know if that's a serious question. I'm going to presume that's not serious. Or did I type it in? Oh, Garnacho. Oh, sorry, I spelled it wrong, didn't I? I put an N in there. Fucking hell. Now I understand. Jetmir says no to Garnacho. Coconut says Enku isn't a bad player if he's using the right way. I like Enku. I just don't think he fits what Moresca's doing at all. He's just not the right profile for Moresca. That's the unfortunate reality of it. Big up to Will. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Big up to Showman as well. Do we never learn trying to sell our players to our rivals who we are meant to hate? The issue is, though, Jacob, is nobody else has the money in order to pay these fees except for Saudi, and a lot of the players don't want to go to Saudi. So you are forced into a situation where you have to deal with your rivals and do business with them, because otherwise there is no financial reward for getting rid and selling these players. So if you want to retain players because of this rivalry, you can do that. But at the same time, sometimes you've got to look at it. You've got to say, listen, does my hatred for this team mean more? Or does the fact that I can get my own club in order, my own house in check, is that more important? And I guess that's that's a decision that you have to think for yourself. Interesting as well, looking at the Dortmund situation. This is regarding Jamie Gittens. So, Dortmund CEO held a secret meeting with Bayern's Max Eberl today over Jamie Gittens. Chelsea's last offer was £30 million fixed, with £20 million in add-ons. Bayern will have to convince Gittens, as he currently wants Chelsea. So that is the situation as it stands. I'll be honest with you, even competing against Bayern Munich, a very top team, obviously a very prominent team in not just in Germany, but in world football, I would be lying to you if I think that Chelsea will be okay. I think that we win the battle for Jamie Gittens, because one thing that Chelsea can literally promise these young players that Bayern just can't do is regular minutes. And there's no way that Bayern can come up to Jamie Gittens and prove that they are able to offer him more game time than we can. And we have a consistent track record of being able to do that. of being able to, bring in players and just give them an opportunity, really. And that's not to say that everyone takes the opportunity that we give them, because we don't. But, yeah, I mean, that is the reality. How are they going to convince Jamie Gittens to move to Bayern Munich over Chelsea? I would say that two main factors: game time, number one; financial side, number two. Will Bayern Munich offer more money for Jamie Gittens than Chelsea? I think the answer to that would be yes. I think they would offer more money, but I don't think they could offer the game time. And I don't think that... one thing that we have been very good at, irrespective of whether you like our transfer policy and the way we do business, is once we see a player that we like, it's almost like we I don't know what the word is. I don't want to say groom. That's not the right word, is it? Is that the right word? What's the word I'm thinking? Yeah, no, I guess it is grooming. Yeah. So we almost like groom these players, from the beginning of negotiations to the end, so that by the end, all they can think about is Chelsea. That's all they can think about, is how they want to be a part of Chelsea and how they like our project, because we've been so keen, so proactive. And that's how we managed to win on a number of fronts with Caicedo, with Lavia as well. And you can't deny that that's a great way of doing things. So that's where we do have a slight advantage over Bayern Munich. Dortmund want at least 55 million to sell Gittens. Another club like Bayern entering the race could play into their hands and raise the price even further. Do I think that they would spend 55 million? Maybe, but I don't think Jamie Gittens is worth it. But it does also make you think, guys, and this is not me defending, who we're looking at with Jamie Gittens. I'm not sitting here saying this player is great, this player is not so great. But you have to look at it as well and say, maybe there's a reason that teams like Bayern Munich are interested in Jamie Gittens. Yeah, there must be a reason, because he's obviously a very good up-and-coming player. But is he the player we need to go in that next step? Is he better than Noni Madueke? Is he better than what we had in Mudryk? Because I guess Gittens coming in is almost like a replacement for that. Or Jadon Sancho. Is he better than those players? Is he better than Tyreek George? Do you think that he can compete with the likes of Pedro Neto? And if the answer is yes, then you have to say that it's an upgrade. By definition, it's an upgrade. Whether you like it or not, it's an upgrade. But that doesn't mean that what we had to compete with in the first place was good enough. So where do you find the competition? Are we just competing with other players who are mediocre, or are we pushing the boundaries here and getting better and better? I want to see what you have to say in the chat as well, guys. CFC Andrew says he's a Madueke clone. Give him a Ballon d'Or clause in his contract. Should get the deal over the line. He has agreed a 7-year deal with Chelsea. That is very, very true. And I'm sure we'll offer longer contracts than Bayern Munich. They'll probably offer, a 5-year deal with maybe a year extension in there. Rodrigo would be a great signing. I mean, I would be all over the signing of Rodrigo, but maybe the pessimistic side of me doesn't think we'll do it, but I would absolutely love that. You would rather have the corpse of Enku than Garnacho. Gemma thinks we're going to get Yorkeres. Fair enough. What criteria do these fans use to make Enku better than Garnacho? The Enku from what, 2022? Well, I mean, just look at his career, and there's your obvious answer. Enku is clearly a better player than Garnacho. I don't even think that's a debate. Was he better than Garnacho this season? No, but he didn't play. So, I mean, it's hard to... Actually, even with his limited game time, he was still one of our highest scorers. So, actually, there probably is an argument for that. So, no, I'm not even going to debate this Nkunku's a much better player than Garnacho, but he's just he's a player you need to build around. And if you're asking Nkunku to play the same way as Nicholas Jackson, it's just different, isn't it? Nkunku's good at doing one thing: scoring goals and getting in good positions. Not running, not pressing, not tracking back, but he can score goals. So if you want goals in your team and you're willing to sacrifice other parts, other elements, then Nkunku's not a bad player to have. If Chelsea is a serious team, then we'll get Barcola or Rodrigo. Well, Barcola's not going to be going anywhere, I don't think. But Rodrigo, maybe that could be realistic if we put our money where our mouth is. Nuhu says, after watching Sancho play for us, I believe Eze might be a perfect fit on the left space. Going out or cutting inside, he's also versatile across the front line. Alex, would you take Eze to Chelsea if we had the opportunity? Yes, I would. I would take Eze. I think he's a good player. I think he's a player that would benefit us. I think he's an upgrade on what we have as well. So, yes, I would take Eze at Chelsea. But again, if we're going to bring in players, we also need to look at who we're selling as well. And you can't just keep bringing in players and, not getting rid of some, because ultimately these players have to, they have to be replaced. Now, if you look at what the Independent has said, that's Miguel Delaney, he's been speaking about Noni Madueke amid interest from Arsenal. Now, we have known about this for a few days. If you haven't watched my video outside the White House, I did a Chelsea news video outside the White House, which is quite cool. And I was speaking about Madueke as well. Now, this is a player that I don't really have a problem with Chelsea selling, but I do have a problem with Chelsea selling at the same time, because I know that if we sell him, we're not going to bring in a clear and obvious upgrade. So how do you justify getting rid of arguably one of your best wingers, who you still don't think is good enough anyway, only to bring in someone that you don't know would be better than what you already had in the first place? So let's just use Gittens as an example. We sell Madueke, we bring in Jamie Gittens. Is that a clear and obvious upgrade? In my opinion, the answer to that is no. It's not a clear and obvious upgrade. Okay, Gittens is a good player. Madueke is a good player. None of them are Chelsea level right now as it stands. Chelsea level being ready-made in terms of having the ability to compete for domestic trophies and European trophies on a consistent basis. That is not where we are at the moment. Even though we did win the Conference League, let's not sit here and act like we can compare Madueke with what we've had when we've won Premier Leagues. Your Kalous, your Maludas, all the rest of the wingers we've had, your Robens, the list goes on and on and on. We do not put Madueke in the same bracket. Not in a disrespectful way. That's just the reality. That's the reality of where we are right now. Now, this particular article from Miguel is talking about Arsenal looking for striking options. It says Benjamin Sesko is their priority, but Arsenal also have their eyes on Victor Gyökeres and Noni Madueke. There is still a €10 million gap between Arsenal and Leipzig on Sesko. They've also discussed a potential move for Chelsea's Noni Madueke. He wants a striker, Mikel Arteta, and Sesko is the main target. So, yeah, it doesn't look like there's been any advancements on the Sesko deal. In terms of Sporting as well, I mean, everybody's been pretty quiet around that deal as it stands. But yeah, so going back to Noni Madueke, Arsenal have been speaking to Chelsea about a potential move for Noni Madueke as the Stamford Bridge hierarchy anticipate another summer of high activity. The arrival of the Brazilian revelation Estevão from Palmeiras is set to create further competition for places in Enzo Moresca's front line. Chelsea, nevertheless, want £50 million for Madueke, which is not a price Arsenal want to go to right now. There is a possibility a deal may be revived later in the window. So, again, this sounds to me a little bit like some of the negotiations we've had with other teams. And, I don't blame the fact that Arsenal don't want to pay 50 mil. He's not worth 50 mil. I mean, is this what 50 million pounds gets you in the modern market? Again, it just scares me in a way, because then I think, well, Chelsea are open to selling Nicholas Jackson, but we're not willing to spend 70 million on a striker. So who are we going to get that's going to be a direct upgrade on even a player like Jackson? So, yeah, that's the way the saga's going. I don't think Madueke will be sold whatsoever, but we'll see. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Cuckoo has the same amount of goals as Nkunku from fullback. Not in all competitions. That's not correct. That's not true. Maybe in the Premier League, but not in all competitions. In all competitions, Nkunku will have many more goals and assists, or GA. Maybe that's a better way of saying it. Was I tipping in restaurants? Well, I haven't. Have I been to a restaurant today? We went to a diner. So, yeah, a little tip. I mean, to be fair, I'm not going to lie to you. We've been pretty generous. Like, everywhere I've gone with my family and my friends, the tips have been extremely generous. And there's me talking about, potentially paying, 10, 15%. They don't even give you those options. It's 18, 20, 22% in most places. Sometimes you go to a place and it's 20, 25 or 30%. And fair play. Like, if this is how these people earn their living, then I will say this. If you bring that kind of culture to England, a lot more people would want to go and become a waiter, because they make good money from tips. It's actually extortionate. Anyway. But no, I'm not a fan of the tipping culture, if that's what you're asking me. I'm not a fan. But that's how it is, isn't it? I think we'll reach the quarterfinals in the Champions League this season. I'd love to say we'll win it, but I don't think the team is ready to go all the way yet. What do you think, Alex? Quarterfinals. I'll be honest with you. The way we're playing, I don't even see us getting to the quarters. Not the way we're playing at the moment. I mean, I've seen some things online, and to be honest with you, I need to rewatch the game on my computer, because it is different when you watch it again online. But, I mean, I was watching that Flamengo game. I just thought we were just pathetic. I mean, there's not really another way I can say it. And I am holding back. I am really holding back. And I'm going to hold back as much as I can, because I did say after the Conference League game, I did respect what Moresca achieved at the end of last season. I respected it. He does. We deserve credit as a team for being able to progress. But then again, if progression is the number one priority here, which it should be, how do you progress from finishing fourth and winning a European trophy, even though it was a Conference League? Okay, we're not saying we expect the boys to win the Champions League. I don't expect it. I would love that, but I don't expect it. An upgrade on fourth is third or second or first, which is basically a title challenge. And in terms of progressing in the Champions League, I mean, yeah, if you get to the quarterfinals, I think that's, again, another good year. That's a progression in a lot of ways. Quarterfinal in the Champions League carries more weight than winning the Conference League, in my eyes. It carries more weight because you're playing better teams, you're playing more games, and you've obviously got to balance that European football with what you're doing in the Premier League. So, can we do that? And what we have right now, I'll be honest with you, I don't think we can. We're going to need to do more business in order to get close. Goalkeeper's not good enough. It was, and then we decided that Petrovic wasn't going to be our goalkeeper. So that's not good enough. Defensively, we don't have cover for Cucurella. Not enough depth and quality in the middle. On the right, I mean, I don't even know who's a right back. Are you a right back or are you a centre mid? So I don't even know how to go through that. Gusto's a great player. I like Gusto. Big fan of Gusto. I think that Chelsea fans are wrong to say that they don't want Gusto to be a part of this club. He is not being utilised in the right place, in the right position. This is a player who was one of our best players under Poch. Not talking about Poch here, just talking about Gusto. And, you know, he's being asked to play in a way that just doesn't suit him, which wouldn't suit most right backs. Midfield actually looks great in terms of the depth. We just need to try and play the midfielders. So that seems pretty simple. That's an easy fix. Wingers, we need more quality, more depth. Gittens and Garnacho might be the players we get. That's depth. Is it quality? Question mark. Striker, I think Delap's a huge upgrade. I like Delap. Big fan of Delap. But I still think we could use more quality there. So that is where I stand on the squad at this moment. I don't want to go too far into it because if there's one thing I've learned, seasons are long. And you want to try and see how things play out. Things happen in all different sorts of ways, so we'll see. Yeah, there was a lot of luck, but you know, the reality is, Showman, you got to make your own luck. And we will find out whether it was total, you know, it was a total fluke, or if there was, you know, actually some real building blocks that we can look at this season and hopefully progress on. Kudos, let's go. Sell our substandard players until Moresca is gone. We will not see our players' potential realised. Big up to Hudag. I hope you're doing well. Alex just moved to London looking to take up tennis. What is the best way to go about it? Well, it depends what your budget is. If I'm honest with you, Andrew, if you've got a big budget, then get some private lessons. If you don't have a big budget, then get some group lessons and join a club, become a member, and then you can start playing competitive matches as well. So that's my advice. Yeah, I'm sure Nina's doing well. I haven't spoken with her either, to be honest. She's in Poland, if I'm not wrong, working with UEFA. So big up to Nina. Yeah, she's out on a job. Jackson doesn't deserve the spot he has anymore at the club. He needs to make way. Well, he's not our starting 9 anymore. I don't think he's our starting 9. I don't think that, you know, he can compete with Delap in terms of what Delap does, because Delap is just a classic striker, and that's what we've been asking for, isn't it? So, hey, we'll see what happens. Who knows? Who knows? Right. Another update regarding Mohamed Kudus from West Ham, a player that we've been linked with, a player we offered a swap deal for with Kiernan Dewsbury Hall and Robert Sanchez, which was rejected. I think there was actually cash involved in that deal as well. He has switched his agent and he has signed with renowned sports management firm Roof, ROOF, as speculation over a potential move away from West Ham United continues to gather pace. The Ghanaian has joined Roof's high-profile roster ahead of what is shaping up to be a very busy summer for the 24-year-old. And again, 24 years old, people. So if we're going to get it done, we've got to get it done soon, because once he hits 25, he is too old, unfortunately, as we have seen with a number of players. We don't like signing players closer to 30 than they are to 20. So we've got to get it done quickly if we're going to get it done. We'll see. We'll see if we can wrap that one up. Personally, I don't think that deal will happen, but I'll be very impressed if we can do it. Sometimes we like to take our time in negotiations. Big up to Jeremy. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Good to see Jenksy in the chat as well. If we get 100 million or more from exits, we should definitely go for Eze, Leao, Kudos, Pedro, or Garnacho. I would personally pick Eze and Kudos as a priority. Yes, I would agree with that. Yes, I would agree with that. Yeah, I think that's a fair point. Have I had a Philly cheesesteak? Yes, I had a Philly cheesesteak at the baseball last night. I went with my dad. I watched the Phillies versus the Mets, which is apparently like a local derby. And it was a big game. Phillies absolutely smashed the Mets. I think it was 5-1. 3 home runs in that game as well. So that was good fun. The players called tossing uncle. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if 27 years old makes you an uncle, 30 years old makes you a granddad. That is where we are as a team right now. But, you know, we'll have to see how these things play out. They can turn out in all sorts of different ways. I mean, just going back to the Kudos situation, though, the fact that he has switched his management, that does give you an indication that there is an opening there. And that's what they're saying on the Sun. And it is an indication that he could be moving from West Ham. If he's not moving, he wants to move. So I don't disagree with that whatsoever. I think that's probably true. Generally, players change their agents when they're unhappy, and that's when they look to bring someone else in, so they can actually get the move they're looking for, which is what we saw from Victor Osimhen when his deal to Chelsea broke down. So we'll see if anything happens for Kudos. There are going to be a number of clubs interested, but 85 million, which is what I'm saying, that is an extortionate amount of money. And I can't say that Kudos is worth 80. I can't say he's worth 70. Maybe to West Ham, but not to most teams. Lewis is going crazy the past couple of days. Why? Why is Lewis going crazy? Someone give me an update on that. Usually when a player wants a big move, they go with a bigger name agent. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm with you on that. So Natalie would be fuming if we get Garnacho. But how much would we pay for the guy? I mean, if we're paying 50 million, I'd be fuming. I think that's an extortionate amount. That's like them doing us dirty on Mason Mount. You know, sorry, doing us a favor with Mason Mount, because we got a great deal for Mason Mount. By the way, Mount hit some great heights at Chelsea where he was a top player. Not to say that, you know, he was worth the money that we got from him at the time, but he was worth a good amount. 50 million quid for Mason Mount is fair based on the way he's played. But he did have a poor year in his last season. I don't see where the 50 million comes from for Garnacho except potential. I mean, that's literally where the money is. It's Chelsea tax, potential tax. Yeah, that's all it is. Smash the like button, people. Come on, let's smash that like button. And we've got almost, what have we got? About 90 of you in the building as it stands, 80 or 90 of you. Let's smash that like button. Let's get up to 75 likes on the video. Appreciate all your time, everyone that's watching. We've got another 10 minutes or so before we round it out. And then I'll be back out and about in America. Fielder says, why the whole Manyan thing? Garnacho links, no signing Sanchez. Okay, that's understandable. Would I take Mount back in the swap deal for Nkunku instead of Garnacho? No, I would not. I would rather have Garnacho than Mason Mount. I would rather have Garnacho than Mason Mount. Lower wage, more potential, not injury prone, hated by the Chelsea fan base, Mason Mount at this point. So there's no going back as far as I'm concerned. And in a position that is more in demand. We don't need another midfielder. We need another winger. So for that reason, if you had to hold a gun to my head and say, who would you pick? I would pick Garnacho over Mason Mount. Seen Sanchez linked with West Ham. Who knows if it's waffle or not? Oh, it's not the first time you would have seen it, to be fair. I mean, there has been rumours about it. So, no, nothing wrong with that one at all. I think, to be honest with you, when I look at the whole Sanchez scenario with West Ham, I mean, it makes perfect sense. He played his best football under Graham Potter, so why would it change? I don't think it will change. So yeah, that's my stance on that. I don't think it's waffle, but as with any player, it has to be the right price. So if it's not the right price, nobody's going to do any deals, and I don't think West Ham will be paying anywhere near what Chelsea paid in order to secure the services of Robert Sanchez. I don't even think they'd be willing to pay within 10 million. I think that we're looking at a deal less. If Maignan is worth 15 million in Chelsea's eyes, then Sanchez should be worth about 5. Not even 5, less than 5. Really, we should be paying West Ham to take Robert Sanchez. We should be paying them. That's how strongly I feel about that. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. In terms of another player that's been linked with a move away again, Bayern Munich have been scouting. Malagusto could be leaving Chelsea this summer. No departures for Bayern yet, though, so it's not priority right now. That's according to a source in Germany, Christian Falk. And this kind of proves what I was saying earlier, guys, which is Malagusto is a good player. There's a reason that top clubs are looking to bring him in, or at least looking at the player. Malagusto is a decent player. I like Gusto. Big fan of Gusto. I'm not a big fan of how we utilize Gusto. So when I look at that particular type of player, I think there's a lot of managers who can get a lot, but I don't think Moresca is the one for this player. This isn't me saying Moresca out. I'm just saying that player does not fit. Gusto and Moresca, it's not the one. Just like in a lot of ways, Enzo Fernandez and Pochettino didn't really go together, did it? Although Fernandez did have some injury problems, so maybe cut him a little bit of slack. So listen, if we are going to get rid of Gusto, then we've got to bring a replacement in. We've got to do it. And whatever the replacement is, you also have to be aware that this is a player who not only needs to be a decent fullback, he also needs to be able to invert as well. And that is a checklist that is much harder to find than just your classic fullback. I think it's quite easy to find a decent fullback these days. Someone who can bomb up and down, whip crosses in, score a couple of goals, cause some problems. That is, yeah. That's something that we are going to have to look for. Then, if we're not looking for a regular fullback, then don't bring in a regular fullback. Bring in a fullback that specializes in what you like to do as a manager within your system and who can fit in straight away. Don't bring in a regular fullback and expect him to be able to convert straight away, because it just doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. Never has. When Enzo Moresca was asked a number of questions about the Club World Cup, he had a number of things to say. So we're going to go through some of those points. He was asked if the heat in America could lead to burnout. He said, we are doing short sessions and we're being clinical. And in terms of the heat, we have the cooling breaks during the game. And that helps a little bit. Tomorrow will be 60 games if you count last season. So that takes a toll on the legs. And I don't think he's wrong, to be fair. And I don't think that doing shorter sessions is wrong either. So I have to say, I mean, I was out walking in Philadelphia today, just walking. I wasn't doing anything special. I'm sweating. It's hot. It's hot out here. It is, very harsh temperatures at times. So, I have absolute sympathy for the players who are running for 90 minutes out there. it is pretty, it's almost dangerous to an extent when you see some of the temperatures that are out there. So I don't really, as much as all the players are competing on that front, they're all playing on the same pitch in the same area. You still have to appreciate that it's extremely hot, and English teams will probably suffer more than all the others because they're not used to playing in this heat all year round. Whereas the South Americans, this is what they're used to. Even Al Hilal and teams like that, it's very hot out in their respective climates. So we are at a disadvantage in terms of the weather. Whether you like to admit it or not, we are at a disadvantage. But that doesn't take away the fact that we are better football teams on paper than the ones we're competing against. So you would expect us to still do better. When asked about Jackson and Nkunku, Moresca said, Nico was not in the session this morning. It's the day before the game, and he was not with us as a result. And Christo is our player. He's doing very well in the last 4 or 5 days and can get some chances. We will make some rotations. When asked about prize money, Moresca said the owners just want the best for us and the players game by game. They never put pressure on me or the players to win this tournament because of the money. Now, some people would look at that and go, great, that's great. The owners aren't putting pressure. The other side is, why aren't they putting pressure? Because if we had any ambition and we wanted to win, we would be in a position where we would be putting our players under more pressure because, hello, we're trying to be successful here. That's kind of the point. So two sides to that. Me personally, I'm absolutely okay with the owner putting pressure on everyone. I mean, for fuck's sake. But at the same time, also, there's enough pressure in a lot of areas, and the fan bases, all the rest of it. There is still a lot of pressure, even without the ownership. When asked about the changes against Flamengo and Palmer playing on the right-hand side, Moresca had this to say. He said, Cole and Enzo on the ball were occupying the same positions they did during the season. Both were in the pocket, but off the ball, Cole was a bit wider. We have to try new things to think about the future. I was very happy to see that Palmer was playing on the right-hand side, but I was disappointed with the way it went because I'll be honest with you, I think that Pogba had a really poor game against Flamengo. I think he had a really poor game. A lot of misplaced passes, not great touches at times. Didn't look like he was in control. He was getting beaten to possession. It was disappointing the way that Palmer was playing. But also I have to admit, like a human being, I'm not going to sit here and say that he needs to be perfect every week, but he's played an awful lot of matches, and I don't think he's played particularly well in Moresca. The more Moresca's been involved in this team, I haven't seen Palmer thrive as consistently as we did before. But this is a new season we're coming into, and I'm hoping that can change. Again, I kind of treat this like a pre-season. I don't want to get too carried away with, everybody saying Chelsea are going to win the Club World Cup. We know we're not going to win it. And that's not me being negative. That's the reality. We won't win the Club World Cup. And if we did, it would be like a miracle, because you look at the other teams we're competing with, and then that answers your question. So, listen, I think that quarterfinals would be a good stage for us to get to. We'll end up playing in Charlotte because we are going to finish second in our group. I'm pretty certain that Flamengo are going to smash LAFC, and then obviously we've got El Tunis. That'll be another game in Philadelphia, so I'm glad that we're staying here for another game. Philadelphia is lovely, by the way. Really like Philly. Nice people, nice food, nice atmosphere, great architecture, lovely buildings. I've heard, like anywhere, obviously there's problems, but I haven't seen too many of the problems as it stands. Oh, Jesus. Philadelphia. I ran away to New York. I'll be honest with you, Hijo. I've been told New York's the place I want to avoid. No disrespect. But I am going to New York as well. So, we'll see what happens there. The owners have to give Moresca the right tools to give him the players he wants, not kids like watching Kindergarten FC. Keyshawn says, I care more about getting transfers in than this cup. But then again, maybe this cup could influence some of the transfers that we make. No, I am not staying for the whole Club World Cup. I'm going to be going back to England on the 5th of July. It's hot. It's very hot. Guys, smash the like button if you haven't already. Come on, people. Smash that like button. I just want to say I really appreciate everyone tuning in for this live show. I know I've been not great in the past 24 hours, but it's like anything, guys. When you're away in a foreign country, sometimes you just want to explore a little bit. And it's difficult to get cover on some of these lives. But I appreciate your time nonetheless, guys. We'll catch up very, very soon. All the best and enjoy the rest of your day.